They like you already. Our guest is Grace Leon. She is the widow of a slain Cleveland police officer many years ago, leaving her as a young mother with a 2-, 4-, and 5-year-old. Grace has pulled her life together through her Catholic faith and now is heading in another direction, a good direction. Hi, Grace.
Hi.
Thanks for coming. Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you. My pleasure.
Tell me about your husband, Wayne.
My husband was an amazing man. He was a great husband, a great father. He was a great police officer. He really believed he was making a difference in his community, and he was a man of great faith.
When this happened, obviously, as a psychologist, I've had experiences with a lot of folks who have hit with great tragedy, unspeakable tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go numb?
Yes, absolutely.
For how long?
A very long time. It seemed like years. I don't remember years of my children's childhood, and took a long time to put the pieces of my life back together and try to transition to a life that didn't have Wayne in it, and that was really hard because there's so much of him still in our lives. It was such a shock. He was taken from us so quickly and so violently that it took a lot to make it seem real that this even happened.
Most people in circumstances like that would either hear from other folks or personally say, what kind of God is this? How could he let this happen? Wayne is a good man. He's a faithful man. We have a good, faithful family. We play by the rules. We do what is good and right. This is how we get treated. Did you struggle with that?
A little bit I did. I did struggle with that. We were a young family. Wayne was doing a job that, helping the community, like doing good things. Our children, we were teaching them to go to church and, right from wrong. We wanted to send them to Catholic schools. And we were young, and we really needed Wayne. We really needed him. And it did not make sense why God did this. And I did search for I did struggle with that. I did search with a lot of answers. And a lot of my friends often asked me if I was mad at God. Was I mad? And I said, God didn't do this. And God is still the person that I prayed to keep my children safe, keep me safe.
Did they think you were naive and foolish? You're just not looking at this right. You should be mad at God. Don't stuff it,
yes,
Grace.
Yes.
You're just holding it all in.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have all kinds of problems because you're not grieving properly.
Yes, there were people that felt that way, yes. But I searched for answers. I kind of wanted to know why this did not make sense to me, why this experience was happening to us. Why did God do this? And I spoke to a lot of priests. And of course I got the answers of, Wayne's in a better place, and God must have needed him more than you needed him.
Doesn't feel good at the time, does it?
No, not at all. Not at all. How could God need him more than my 3 children who needed their father? That didn't make sense to me. However, there was one priest, Father Cregan, who's a dear friend of mine who I really, really respected. I talked to him about it, and he said, Grace, I don't know. I don't know why this happened to you. I have no idea. But someday we're all going to know the answers. And you know what? Wayne has all the answers. And he's waiting for you. And he knows when you'll be up there with him. And just hearing him have such great faith, and just hearing him say, just hearing those words that we're not supposed to know right now, that is the essence of our faith. We're supposed to trust.
You believe that? Or
yes.
Did it take time for it to sink in?
I just needed to hear it. No, I needed to hear those words, that it's okay not to have an answer right now, but we will have an answer. I just needed to hear those words.
How many people came to you with suggestions, ideas, opinions about how you should deal with this? Grace, you need to get out. You need to get out now. It's been 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get out. You need to get on with your life. I'm sure that Wayne wouldn't expect you to live single for the rest of your life. Or Grace, come on, your children need another person in their lives. I mean, how often did you hear that kind of stuff? And
I heard it very often. I still hear it today about what people think is best for me and my children.
Are you advising people be very careful about what they tell somebody
Yes.
who's had a tragedy like that?
Yes, absolutely.
What is the best thing you heard? What is something that somebody said that comforted you pretty much more than anything else?
My children have always been the focus of how they're handling their grief. And the one thing that helped me the most was a fellow survivor who lost her husband in the line of duty. And I called her one day and I said, "How are you doing this? How are you being both mom and dad?" And she said, "You can't be dad. You just be mom. You are not dad. Don't even try, because you're not going to fill those shoes." And it was such a relief that she said that, because just be mom. That's who you are, and just be mom. So of course I said, "Oh, thank God I don't have to wrestle on the floor with my kids anymore. It's hurting my
I can't throw,
back."
I throw like a girl.
Yes, it's hurting my nail. My nails are getting ruined. So and they're pointing and laughing at me, the neighbors. Yes. So yeah. So but truly, that was the most refreshing thing. I don't have to be
Took
dad.
the pressure off.
Yes, absolutely. I
You
could
don't
just
know
be
how to
mom.
be dad.
Wayne had those qualities, and no matter how hard I try, I cannot duplicate that.
Okay, I see two things as a psychologist. Tell me if you had this happen to you. One is an enormous amount of sadness, guilt for the children being ripped off.
Absolutely.
And as a result, for a while, it changed your parenting.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Tell me how.
Overcompensating. Christmases were a little bit more generous than past Christmases, first few, because I definitely overcompensate because Wayne wasn't there. I really kind of didn't know how to parent to grieving children. I had to look to resources for that. What do I do? And of course I learned that children like structure no matter what their circumstances are, they still want to make sure that mom knows that things are in control, and mom has a situation, they want to feel that structure in a family. So I had to learn that you need to parent differently now. You are the only parent, and you got to do things that work for me.
You got your strength back.
Exactly.
In the sense of you re-gyroscoped your parenting, which is, I've got to set limits, I've got to have rules, I've got to punish them for disrespect, even though this happened in their lives.
Exactly, yes.
Were the kids, as they got older and understood this more, mad at God, and have they worked it through?
I'd never seen any anger towards God in them. So that was my fear, that they would be angry at
And
God.
ultimately chuck this whole religion thing.
Right. And they do go to Catholic schools, and I think their Catholic faith is very strong. And I think, too, maybe they'd have a different opinion if I showed signs of anger at God, which I never did. That's who we pray to. And I'm so blessed that we had Wayne for as long as we did, and thankful for that. I mean, if I knew that this was going to happen, I would still do it all over again, because at least I had him in my life. If it had to be for a short time, at least I had him. And I have 3 beautiful children that are representative of our love. And they make me smile every day because I see so much of him in them.
Where are you now? After all these years, and for the first part of it, you struggled to digest it, you struggled to deal with it, you put one foot in front of the other like a robot for all those years. And now you were telling me before the interview that you're heading into, is it counseling?
Social work.
So you really are
Yes.
messed up. My apologies to all the social workers. Standard psychologist joke. You want to be a social worker?
Yes, and the people I would like to work with are traumatic grief and trauma experiences, people that have experienced trauma.
On this show, we have talked before about how much can you help folks if you've been there. This may be one of the areas where you can most help someone, this kind of trauma, this kind of tragedy, because for you, when you were wrestling with this, was it almost healing, as you said, to talk to that one survivor who you know she walked through this herself.
Absolutely, yes. And there was nobody initially when that happened. There was nobody. And that's why I said, show me someone who had a husband with 3 children, who I kissed goodbye at the door, and hours later, I was told that he was shot and he wasn't coming home anymore. Show me someone who had that experience, and there was nobody. There was nobody. So I reach out to a lot of survivors that share this same experience, and the one thing that they say on the first visit, I hear repeatedly is, well, I see you got through it, so it gives me hope that I'll get through it. And those words are so so valuable to me, because I know what that means to them. I know what that means to them.
You can tell somebody that's going through trauma like this, as a therapist, as a well-meaning friend, relative, you can say, it won't always feel like this.
Mm-hmm.
You won't always be this lost, this numb, this hurting. But that has no reality at the time it's being said.
Right.
Only looking back.
You're so right.
Why, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I
You know, you
apologize.
are a brilliant woman. They were telling me this.
No, I so strongly believe in what you said, because when you look back or when you reach out to other people that have gone through it and you see where they're at and you look at them, and it serves a purpose for you as well, because you're like, whoa, I was there and I remember that. I remember being in that place. And you know, I'm glad I'm not in that place anymore. I'm glad I'm at this point where I've healed so much, and things, you've coped a little bit more, and those skills have kind of evolved, that you're able to incorporate the loss into your life.
Are you stronger in your faith now than 14 years ago when life seemed to be going smooth?
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel that Wayne is with God, and I pray to Wayne and I pray to God, and they're together, and both of them have a hand in our lives, in my children's lives. Absolutely, yeah.
Grace Leon, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back.